We are here together in the home of the Bosch family, Mr. Adrian, officer,
Captain.
Captain Adrian Bosch, and his wife Cheryl, and their son Jacob. And we're going to talk about breastfeeding and how instrumental it has been in their lives as parents. Because this year's World Breastfeeding Week 2019, the theme is empowering parents, enabling breastfeeding. And so we want to hear from you. What has been your experience during this journey of parenting and breastfeeding?
Well, Nurse Penny, it it's been a journey with Jacob from start until now, and it's gonna continue to be a journey. And breastfeeding has been a big part of it because that's the route that we decided to go. I mean, as you know, because you were there in the beginning. In the beginning, it was hard for us. Cheryl wasn't producing like she should have, and we were going through a hard time. He wasn't getting the nutrition that he needed, and you came in there and you were there to help us. And from there, it was a trip. We had to find time, proper schedule. We had to work together. It was a lot of working together and a lot of tag teaming because sleep was hard. Sleep was hard. Um, we had worked out a pretty rigorous. We had worked out a pretty rigorous schedule where I would have him for, I would say, about 5 hours during the night from 1 until 6 a.m. and then the rest of the time Cheryl would have him. So that was hard on
The first
us.
few weeks.
Well, the first few weeks it was actually a lot less sleep than that. This was when I returned to work.
Let's talking about work. Tell us, in your experience, how important it was to take time off from work to be here.
I don't know how we could have done it if I didn't take any time off from work because we didn't have a lot of help. I mean, your mom was there, but we really kind of handled most of it on our own.
Yeah.
I took off the week before the cesarean because we decided to have a cesarean. Well, actually, we were going for natural.
We were going for natural.
Yeah,
but
that
I
was it.
ended up doing cesarean. But he wanted a week off before. the birth.
We knew it was gonna come in.
Yes.
So I took off that week. It was a lot of, is he here yet? Are those the correct pains? It was, yeah. And I couldn't have dealt with that if I was at work. My mind would not have been at work.
That's right.
So it was really important. And then after the birth itself, being there was special. I had about 3 weeks left with her, and then I went straight back to work. That's when the schedule needed to get a little bit more stringent. So yeah.
How about during the pregnancy? Were you able to go to prenatal care with her?
I think I only missed one, and that's
Yeah.
because work had taken me away. I was not around for that one. But yeah, I went to every single one. I wanted to know what was happening. I was worried. I wanted to know every step of the way if there were any abnormalities, anything.
The progress of it all.
Yes. As the baby grew and developed. Yes. Um, how about where did you find the information about breastfeeding for you to make the decision that that was what you wanted to do?
Well, I mean, I can't say any one given place. There were a number of places, pamphlets that we got from the doctor, a lot of internet research, Cheryl's mother, a lot of family talking to us. My sister has two daughters, and she's completely in support of breastfeeding, and she went through a lot of stuff with us. I know we spoke to my sister a lot during the night whenever we were having a hard time too, especially with expressing milk, different techniques.
Talking about expression milk, tell us about the experience of you feeding the baby express breast milk.
Well, like I said, we had a schedule. She would have him from 6 a.m. until 1 a.m. I would get home from work, and this is leading.
6
Sorry,
p.m.
6
to 1 a.m.
6 a.m. till 1 a.m.
Oh,
And
well,
this is leading up to that. So when I would get home from work, I would get home around 5:30 or.
Yes. Talking about the schedule, how you schedule your time to be supportive at home, and you talked about giving the baby express breast milk. What was that experience like? You having ex- the time during the day or night to have the baby so that you would feed the baby so she could rest.
Right. So, like I said before, we had a very stringent schedule, especially when I returned back to work. So, our schedule would be from 1 a.m. until 6 a.m. He would be for me. So, from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. for her. So, I would return from work around 5:30, 6. I would take a shower, quickly eat something, go straight to bed, and then she would wake me up at 1 a.m. So I could get in a couple hours of sleep, and then 1 a.m. until 6 a.m. that was all me. She would find time to express milk, and we have that stored in our freezer. And I would take out 1 or 2 bottles or bags, and I would put it in the fridge so it would defrost. So by the time I needed it, it would be ready. And I knew pretty much to a T exactly what I would need for a night. So before I go to sleep, I would take out those bags from the freezer and have them ready for when I got up.
Did you ever hold the baby skin to skin?
Yes. That was pretty important because it comforted him. It comforted him. In the beginning, he cried a lot, and it just
It helped with the bonding.
it helped with the bonding. But I think just more than that, it helped to calm him down, especially when he was maybe throwing a tantrum, trying to get him to sleep, trying to relax him. The skin to skin really, really helped. And it got so much so that I really needed to do it to help him go to sleep.
Wonderful. Yes. And I know, as I said, all the areas that we are looking at are areas that you have actually participated in: the prenatal care, the labor preparation, the birth, the early days. Tell us about the early days and any challenges that you had and where you found help.
So help was always needed. Cheryl's mother was really a big help. Her younger sister was a big help. And when I say why we needed help, we needed sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep was in the beginning. I would say, I mean, during her labor, that was almost 3 days you were in labor. After that, after he came, this was a new thing to us. Like I said before, a brand new journey. We were so afraid of maybe he's not breathing. Is he sleeping right? Is he sleeping too much? I know there was one point he slept for 12 hours, and that freaked us out. We didn't know what we were doing. Yeah, exactly. We didn't know what to expect. So there was not a lot of sleep. Her mom and her sister came to our rescue. They helped us out a lot. We had some express milk. They took him over, and we just slept. Or sometimes we would just have him trying to be there, and they would come in, they would sweep the house, they would wash the dishes, they would just do things for us to just alleviate some of that.
Sleepy Papa?
As far as the mental health aspect of having a new baby at home, uh, what would you like the public to know? Where do you get help for things like that? Because sleep deprivation can lead to the baby blues or postpartum depression. So to avoid that or to overcome that, did you encounter that at all?
Well, I think that it'd be hard to say that people don't encounter that. I mean, I know mothers go through that a lot. Cheryl had experienced a little bit of it as well. Family was important for us. Cheryl, I don't have a lot of family here right now. Cheryl's family has been a huge support. And actually, well, my family too. My siblings are in the States, but they've been there for us. And just being able to talk to people who've been through this, being able to share experiences, knowing that the things that we're having a hard time with, other people have gone through those things and have overcome. And it gave us something to look forward to. because both of us did go through it together, and we shared that. And like I said, to have an end goal was what was important for us.
One other thing I wanted to ask, because I know when I visited you, there was a latch-on issue. Would you mind sharing that experience and how you managed to get through that? What was the solution there?
Right. So we did have a problem with latch-in. Jacob was born with a tongue tie. So that's where the membrane between the bottom of your jaw and the bottom of your tongue is too close together, and his tongue was not able to come out of his mouth. Because of that, he wasn't able to create a suction and latch onto the nipple. He did, but it was very painful for Cheryl as well, and he wasn't able to get as much milk as he really could have. We had gotten in contact with a dental surgeon who is also a mother, has 3 children, I think 3 or two, I'm sorry, has 2 children, and one of her children had the same exact problem, and she was able to come to Belize all the way from Placencia, and at no cost to us. She just understood the problems that we were having, and she wanted to help. And she came to do the procedure on Jacob. It took about maybe 2 minutes. He cried for about 30 seconds, but immediately after she did it, because she had to cut the membrane in order to release the tongue, right after she did it, we had put him straight onto the nipple, and it was like an instant cure. We had no problems after that. And there were some follow-up procedures with us. We had to swab the area to make sure the tongue did not tie again, did not reattach. But that was very simple. He didn't give us much problems, and we've never had an issue with it since.
It's really and truly a community affair. It really is a big network. And that's what I'm really thankful for in Belize. We do have that network of families like you, parents like you, and like Dalila Crone in Placencia, who is a pediatric dental surgeon, who is so willing because she knows and she's willing to help. So it really is the big picture of breastfeeding, and it's really important. So I would like for both of you to mention at least one thing that you want the public to know. It's like a public service, that what you experience and how you got through it. If there's nothing else, and especially the role of the fathers, how profound, how would you say his role impacted the success of the breastfeeding?
For me, having Adrian there really helped. It was like a blessing because I realized that I wasn't in this alone, and he was the shoulder that I could lean on. Right now, Papa. He was a shoulder that I could lean on when I needed to relax, to rest. He was there and he's willing to help and be there for his son. I really don't know how I could have done it without him, to be honest. And I still don't know how I would have been able to do it without him, because even now he helps. I know, sweetie.
We want to make sure that Jacob is a happy camper. He looks like he wants to go sleep. Is there something that you would like to say in parting, in closing, from the male perspective? What parting message would you like to give to other men or to families and parents?
In my experience, this is not an easy process, and what I would encourage all men to do who are in this situation, and by situation I mean fatherhood, to be there as much as they can. Be a father, be a husband, do all that you can do, because you have to realize that, can you imagine yourself doing everything? I can't. And I know that my wife needed me there, and all I needed to do was be there.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And we just want to say thanks to the Bosch family, to Cheryl and Adrian and to Jacob for being such a wonderful young man. We'll say bye to you. Bye, Jacob. Bye, Jacob. And thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's okay, darling.
Not much longer, right? Yes.
I know, darling.
Yes,
Mommy's
yes.
gonna put you to sleep right now.
Just like if you're listening to Miss Bennett asking you the question.
Okay.
You don't know how really helpful this is. I'm really, really grateful to both of you.
Well, we're willing. We're happy to help because I know that
There are
how.
families out there that
Yeah.
are in dire need of this message that you are bringing.
Well, we needed the help. I mean, not everyone has family to be there for them.
I know. I know you're sleepy. Oh.